Hello, everybody. Well, we're still on the same location as we were. Oh, so as you may or may not realize.
Let me say one thing first. First of all, for anybody who cares, I'm wearing the same shirt because it's actually rolled into the next day because XJO81X talks so much. So I actually was here overnight. We've just been talking up all night.
Right.
And now we're just it's the next morning we're getting into this. So that's why I wanted to mention that. So now, of course, because he talks too much, I'm going to do this. So all I'm doing right now is removing the back panel.
What's wrong?
Well, the dryer is not heating.
Okay, dryer's not heating. Kenmore 80 series dryer not heating.
We've already tested to make sure we have power. There's power in the outlet. We plugged it in, metered the connections here, 247 volts or so. Everything's good. You leave your middle screw on the back panel and remove that last because that's when it comes off. And we can actually leave that in there. Take that out of the way. Now, interestingly enough, I actually had to open up the back of one of my dryers and I was stuck in an area like this, except the machine was all the way like this, so I had to hop on here and hop down, and I'm not as young and spry as I used to be. So that was a trip and a half, and now I'm cramped in these quarters trying to unscrew things and get.
I could give you some knee stuff if you want.
No, I think it's all right. Okay, so we're all good here, and now we have to meter different things to ensure. So I need a couple other little tools in addition to the meter. I need a flat blade screwdriver and a pair of pliers so we can get some of the terminals off and meter everything. So we have a few sensors that we need to meter here. There's a thermostat, we have a thermal fuse, and another temperature sensor or two, and of course the heating coil itself, which is this block right over here. This is just a plenum for it. So the first thing we'll do is the thermal fuse. We'll disconnect the wires from that if they want to come off, which they may or may not. And we're going to meter that, and we should see continuity. Yeah, once I got a good connection. So that part is good. So we will just stick the wires back on.
The cheap part.
Yeah, well, I figured this would be fine. It's not often these blow.
If you had to guess, what do you think is broken?
I think the heating element itself is no good.
Which is what?
Which is this block over here.
Oh, that's your professional opinion.
Yes, that's just a guess. That's probably the most common part that goes. So we'll pull these connectors. Theoretically, you don't need to take them both off, but it's here.
We're working.
Sometimes it scrapes some oxidation off. Well, that's got nothing.
Right. You could double check the connect. Sometimes the meter is wonky.
Yeah, the meter kind of is wonky. Let's get the other meter just to double check it with. So we're just going to double check with the Harbor Freight El Cheapo meter, and I guess it's going to move because there's not enough slack on it. Okay, this appears open, but we'll come back to that.
We'll keep it going. It could be just that. Now, what is that?
I think that's the thermostat, if I'm not mistaken. Or it could be a high limit thermostat, and if that blows, then that certainly can prevent it from heating. So I'll reconnect this. Well, actually, I'll leave it off for now because the wires are right there in that. Now, I think that's the auto dry sensor there, so we don't need to test that. And for the heating element, down here, I don't remember exactly which wire to remove and what. So I'll take off one of these if I can. I need the flat blade for that. Always use a flat blade to remove the terminals, but you can use a pair of pliers to put them back on. If you use a plier to pull it off, often you'll misshapen the connector. So let's see if we get anything on the heating element. Yeah, we do. So I believe those are the connections I need. So I think the heating element is good.
We could double check. That's in
and
the
it may
video.
just be that. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's also a way that we can...
Bypass it?
Yeah.
But you don't want to, right?
Well, the problem is this is pretty thick wire, and the little jumper leads we have are not going to be gauge enough.
But can you explain why this is here? And if it's jumped, does it still need to be replaced as far as preventing fall? Right,
absolutely. Because what'll happen here is, it looks like, I think this is the over temp sensor, and that means that if it just gets too hot in general, this thing will go. But it's supposed to reset if that happens.
Sure.
Sometimes they go bad. I had that on a video of mine on the Polona
Sure, we
Cedar.
could take it out and look at it and see if it, gets corroded or has, but probably not, right?
Right. But what we could do, if you have wire thick enough for this,
you could jump it to see if everything is working.
Run it for 1 minute,
and
no
then,
more.
Absolutely, I understand what you're saying.
And then go back. So we'll do that, and we'll also test this guy over here. Oh, actually, I think, if I'm not mistaken, you actually have to meter this to the case of it, if I recall. And that I'm not seeing anything on, or that. So we're going to just double check everything to ensure. I'll do a little bit more metering, and we'll come up with the final diagnosis. So between some shitty meter connections and everything else, we have determined that this part up here, I forget exactly what it's called, either the operating thermostat or the high limit thermostat, is no good. This has no continuity at all. The heating element is good, even though it wasn't measuring good earlier. Now, although not recommended to ever even think about doing this, like they say, don't do it at home, do it at a friend's house. So I'm at a friend's house, so we're doing it. We have over here a jumper wire. This is not the right gauge. If you notice, that wire is a lot thinner than those wires. It's for a test for a very short period of time. If you do that and stand back and don't touch anything, you should be perfectly okay, but you're responsible for blowing your own ass up. So, like I said, make sure you do this at a friend's house. We're going to go ahead and plug the dryer in, and we're going to let it rip for 20 seconds, 30 seconds, see if it gets warm. And if it does, we'll shut it immediately, and now we know that is the part that we need. All right, we're ready to go. Dryer's plugged in. Everything is live. Don't touch anything. I am going to be feeling the outside of the heating element just to see if it gets warm. So we're going to start it. Joe, come in position here to open the door to shut it for when we're ready, and I'll tell you. And if you can reach the start button, go ahead and hit it. I think it's getting warm. It is. You can shut it. Indeed, it is getting warm. So we're good. That's it. It's just that one part that failed right there. So we'll unplug this for your safety, not mine. And then we'll go ahead and figure out exactly what it's called and figure out what needs to be ordered. Simple, easy fix. And to replace it, just in case anybody wants to see, now that we're not live anymore, there is one screw there. You take it out, it just unhinges off a metal clip.
Pull it out.
Pop the new one in. We could.
Pull the jumpers if it's in your way and pop it out. See if you get the right angle.
Looks like we might need another tool.
Yeah, you got it. Right, when in doubt,
Put your drill on it.
Wow, I mean, you know. And unfortunately, there's nothing on there that could be cleaned or sanded.
Not really. They just go bad.
Oh, okay. It's more like a button.
Right.
Right. There we go. That should go.
It has a metal tab. There it is.
Really?
That's the part.
Is there something missing?
No, that's it. Because what it does, that metal plate that you're looking at, gets hot from the air that's flowing through there. And if it gets too hot, then it shuts it or turns it on or whatever that thing is supposed to do.
So you're telling me that this metal plate right here gets hot and cold,
And it transfers to that.
and it talks to something in between
Because you
these
got
two
to talk
pieces.
about everything, right?
And we can't sand this
No, it's
and
not.
put it
it's-
back and see if it works?
Nope.
Oh, because there's no continuity.
There's no continuity. Inside of this thing, it went bad.
Malfunctions.
And there's nothing to fix inside of it.
Okay. Are we
That's it.
killing
Look
the...
up the part, and we'll come back as soon as we know. Okay, here is the part. We looked it up on the computer and found the part number on it, which is right there highlighted, 3977394. They call it a thermal fuse replacement. Joe calls it a thermal cut-off thermostat. Thermostat. Right, lava lamp. And another interesting thing, I don't know if it means anything, it says 352F on here, and right up there, 352F. So that's a nice match also. That might mean 352 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know for certain. But this is indeed the bad part. We jumped it out with a jumper wire, like I said you're not supposed to do, and the dryer started heating again. So we know this is the bad part. And hey, look at that, folks. $7. How many assholes out there will go and throw out a perfectly good working dryer that'll probably last another 15, 20 years for a $7 part, and you already have the tools at home? Even if you had to use a pair of pliers to get that nut out of there. For $7, come on folks, fix your stuff. It's very easy to diagnose. There's a million YouTube videos, and now we have to make this video a lot longer than Joe wanted to. So anyway, that's it. We found the problem, we diagnosed the problem, and we're going to order the part, and Joe will have another video showing how to install this and test the dryer, make sure everything works.